Part 2, using the SSR to participate in MIPS 2017. This part consists of 4 sections. 1. Signing up or consenting to MIPS 2017 participation. Section 2. Enter your MIPS 2017 data. Section 3. Review your MIPS 2017 data. And 4. Approve your MIPS 2017 data submission. Section 1. Sign up for MIPS 2017 participation. Before we begin this demonstration, I would like to note that this demonstration will proceed as though you already have an SSR account. If you do not have an SSR account currently, please contact us at ssr@facs.org to begin the registration process, or visit our website at facs.org. So, log into your SSR account at acs.infosarioregistry.com/login. Once logged in, you will see the SSR main page. For any new users, you will not see any cases in your account. But for those of you that are current users, this is what you see every time you log into the system. Over here, you have the SSR main menu. You have your cases here. And then you have the Add New button, which allows you to add a new case. First, we must navigate to the MIPS 2017 participation consent form. Click on Form Management to begin, and then click on Clinician Forms. Next, click on Add New next to the Add New MIPS 2017 participation to access the MIPS 2017 consent form. A quick note, if you need to edit any information in your MIPS 2017 consent form, you will be able to access it at any time under the Edit Forms section. Read the consent form and then click on the checkbox to consent and begin filling out the rest of the form. Next, click on Save. It is recommended to save continuously as you fill out the form. Then, enter your National Provider Identifier, NPI number. Use the advanced search function to search for your NPI. Next, enter your taxpayer identification number. And this TIN should be the one associated with the billing of your Medicare Part B beneficiaries. To add another TIN for multiple sites, click on Add Instance. Next, you select your MIPS 2017 quality reporting option. Now, since the ACS surgical basis of care measures are not yet available, the general surgery specialty measure set is automatically selected for you by default. So, go through the list and select your measures that you would like to report on. And you'll see here that any selected measures will appear in this summary area. Please review your selections for accuracy. Next, we have the Improvement Activities section. The first step is to select all, if any, that apply to you as the surgeon, as this will help determine the amount of points that an improvement activity will be worth for you in your final score. So, select your IA and attestation periods. If you need to delete an improvement activity, click on the Delete button. And if you need to add another, click on Add Instance. So, from the activity list, select the desired improvement activity. Then, for under attestation, select partial year. Next, select your start and end dates for the IA attestation period. As you can see here, I have selected April 1st through June 30th for my 90-day period. To add another IA, click on Add Instance. So Repeat the process if you need to add another improvement activity. You will also notice that if you select a start and end date at testation period that is less than 90 days, you will see this message appear in blue text below the activity. Again, to add another IA, click on Add Instance. You may add as many IAs as you like. Once you have made all of your selections for the quality and the improvement activities components, review all of your information and then click on Save and Exit to be brought back to the form management page. Once back on the form management page, click on Cases in the main menu to begin adding cases for MIPS. Section 2, Entering your MIPS 2017 data. To begin, click on Add New to add a new case. Enter a 2017 procedure date, and then click on Submit, and the case form will open. Once the case form opens, the first selection you will want to make is the MIPS consideration button. This will let the system know that you want this case to be included in your MIPS submission. Once you do that, you'll notice that a Measures tab appears in this tabs section over here. And you will use these tabs to navigate between the case form and the measures. On the Measures tab, you will see 2 points here. Your selected reporting option, which in this case is the General Surgery Specialty Measure Set. And then you'll also notice orange text highlighting the key data variables needed to report on MIPS 2017 measures per case. As you can see here, per measure you need at least date of birth, primary procedure, and procedure date. Please refer to the 2017 measure specifications for specific data points that need to be captured per measure. You will also be prompted to answer whether the visit was conducted as a telehealth visit. All measures in the General Surgery Specialty Measure Set require that the patient encounter was not conducted as a telehealth visit. Again, use the tabs to navigate back and forth between the case form and the measures. Navigating back to the case form, we will enter in our minimum data variable requirements. Enter the patient's medical record number and the date of birth. Please note, you do not need patient last or first name. Moving further down the case form as you scroll down, you will come across the operative information section. This is where you will select your primary procedure. Again, refer to the measure specifications for eligible CPT codes. Once you select a primary procedure that is eligible, navigate back to the Measures tab to report the measures variables themselves. A quick note, when the Measures tab is orange with an X next to it, this is an indication that there are unanswered variables in the Measures section. Also, you'll notice that your procedure date is populated from the previous entry, and you may change this at any time. Again, if you have not done so already, select No, and this will allow any applicable measures to appear for you to report on. As you can see here, we now have several measures that have appeared below. Only measures that you have selected in your MIPS consent form will appear. So as you can see here, I have measures 21, 23, 355, 356, and 357. When you answer a measure, select the appropriate numerator option. Each numerator option listed for a measure includes the description of the clinical action. Again, please refer to the measure specifications to ensure that you are accurately answering these measures variables. Once the numerator option has been selected for each measure, the surgeon has successfully reported on one or more measures for one case. A quick note about a numerator option you might encounter, which is a denominator exception or exclusion. These exclusions will either exclude the patient from the population for a specific reason, or will exclude the patient from the numerator because of a reason that does not result from the physician themselves. Again, please refer to the measures specifications to understand what those denominator exceptions and exclusions are. Now that you have made all of these selections, including the date of birth, primary procedure, procedure dates, the measures, and the MIPS consideration button, the last step is to check the Case Complete button. This indicates to the system that this is a case to be included in your final MIPS data submission. You may still make edits to the case if necessary without unchecking the Complete box. When finished with a case, use one of the save options to exit this case and create a new one. Also, just to note quickly, the Measures tab will turn black when all data points have been entered. If the tab is orange with an X next to it, then there are unanswered data points. Section 3. Review your MIPS 2017 data. Now that you have entered in all of your MIPS 2017 data, you are ready to review your data for accuracy and completeness. Or you have data currently in the system and you would like to see which cases are eligible or which cases have missing data. There are a few reports you can utilize to help you determine any of these points. First, click on Operational Reports. Then, click on Measures Report. And as you can see here, we have 3 reports for you to choose from: a measure summary, measure details, and missing data. We will go over each report in more detail. First, click on Apply Parameters to run the reports. 2017 is automatically the default reporting year. Once you click on Apply Parameters, this will be the default view for the reports. Here is where you will toggle between the 3 reports by selecting any of the tabs you see here. The blue section is a measure summary that is always displayed regardless of which measures report is selected. This area below the measure summary section is where the selected report is displayed. The default report that you're seeing right now is the measure summary report, and it will always run as the first report. Now to go over the measure summary section in more detail. This section gives you high-level data about the number of cases in the system. The first number here on the left is total number of cases for the reporting period. This number reflects how many existing total cases fall into the specific MIPS reporting period and is based on procedure date. That is, there are a total of 14 cases that fall within the 2017 MIPS reporting period. Next, we have total eligible cases. This number reflects how many existing total cases are eligible for MIPS 2017 reporting and is based on procedure date and primary procedure. Next, we have total eligible cases selected for submission for CMS data submission. This number reflects how many existing total MIPS eligible cases have been selected for inclusion in the submission and is based on the MIPS consideration checkbox in the case entry form. Next, we have completed eligible cases ready for CMS data submission. This number reflects how many existing total MIPS eligible cases are marked as complete, which is the checkbox in the case entry form, with all required data variables and measures selected. Then we have the CPIA score. This number reflects the total points for the surgeon's IA component score. Again, a total of 40 points is required to earn full credit in this MIPS category. And then lastly, you can use the procedure date filter to narrow down the view of data in any of the reports. The earliest and latest dates displayed on the filter are based on the total number of cases for the reporting period. That is, all cases with a 2017 procedure date. Now we'll go over the first of the three reports, which is the measure summary report. Again, this is the default report that will display when initially running this report. All the measures selected by the surgeon will display as tiles with high-level information specific to each measure. To break down these tiles, each measure tile is labeled by the measure number and title. The performance rate is displayed as a percentage and indicates the surgeon's particular performance on a measure. The case volume represents how many cases have been reported for a specific measure. A minimum of 20 cases is required per measure by CMS for full participation. A black tile with white text indicates an inverse measure, in which a 0% performance rate is the desired rate. That means that you will want to select performance not met as your numerator option for a measure, such as surgical site infection. Also, a quick note about performance rates. For a regular measure, such as measure 21 here, a 0% performance rate will not count and will automatically not be included in your final quality score. The same goes for an inverse measure, such as measure 357. A 100% performance rate will disqualify the measure. The next report is the measure details report, which allows you to drill down into more details for a specific measure. When selecting one of the listed measures, the system will show counts for aspects of both the measure denominator and numerator. You also have the ability to drill down to the case level for each of those counts. So, in the measure surgeon is enrolled in column, click on a measure to begin drilling down. In the selected measure calculations details column, click on any of the bars in the graph to drill down to the case level. For example, clicking on the performance met bar of this graph will list all cases in that category. In the case details column, cases will display with the following information: medical record number, procedure, procedure dates, and date of birth. You also have the link to the specific case under the Access Case column. And this allows you to open the case from here in a separate tab. The last report is the missing data report, which allows you to filter cases for missing data and then drill down to case level variable details to find specific missing data points. As you can see here, the system will prompt you to select a case from the case list table to see specific case details. Next, select the filter for the cases you are trying to identify. To find missing data, select the Missing Data for Measure filter. You have 4 filters available to you. You have all eligible cases, which is based on procedure date and primary procedure. Missing Data for Measure, which again shows eligible MIPS cases with missing data. You have Submission Ready, which shows completed and finalized MIPS cases, meaning that the complete box has been checked and there are no missing data variables. And then you have a filter for cases that are not selected for MIPS. This particular filter will help you identify any additional cases you would like to include in your MIPS submission that have not already been selected. So, with the missing data view selected, the case list has been narrowed down. Select a case to view all measures details for that case. To open a specific case in a new browser tab, click on the case link under Access Case. Over here you can see that the case is broken down by measure and shows you which variables have been answered and which have been not. So review the data from the selected case. Any applicable measures a case is eligible for will display in a table format. The yellow values indicate a missing data point. Section 4. Approving your MIPS 2017 data submission. Before approving your data submission, there will be a preview submission report available to you to summarize the information being sent to CMS, including the NPI, your TIN, measures being submitted, improvement activities being submitted, and a few other data points. This will give you a chance to have a final high-level look at your data before approving your data submission. Currently, the preview submission report and ability to approve your MIPS 2017 data submission is not yet available. Please stay tuned, as we will notify all MIPS participants when this functionality becomes available.